paste, because of if you copy paste your resume, they mentioned a lot of things. Maybe you don't know some things.
Mm.
Okay, that's why don't copy paste. Whatever it you know, just mention. You take one resume, but compulsory you have to check each and every step. See, for you have two plans.
Mm.
You have to mention your name, like a mobile number, your email ID, anything like your name, like that.
Mm.
Then objective to work in an organization where I can utilize my knowledge and skills for development of the company and I can improve my personal skills. See, here in professional summary, we have to mention like how many years of experience you have in particular technologies or domain. See, around 3 years of experience in manual testing and mobile application testing. See, if you have only like a manual testing, you have to mention only around 2 years of experience in manual testing. But whenever you have to mention only the manual testing, uh, you will get very less calls
Okay.
because of after joining you are working only manual, but they want like any automation skills, manual testing plus anything. If you put like SQL server, strong experience on that, or mobile application testing, or QTP, or Selenium, load runner, JMETER, lot of things are there. If you mention more than one, they will call you and you will get more calls
Okay.
because of manual testing is a mandatory thing. So you said like a good knowledge in SDLC. So if you attend the interview, they don't know who are you. Even they don't know your name also.
Mm.
Whatever you have mentioned in your resume, they called in that name. Okay? So
Mm.
that's why if you prepare your resume well, then you will get a lot of calls. So they ask like a good knowledge in software development cycle. Okay, explain about SDLC. So if you explain like in SDLC, like gathering information and analysis, testing,
Design.
release, and in meanwhile they will ask about what is release, maybe what is gathering information, okay, or requirements gathering. So maybe sometimes they ask like please write down what is SDLC. If you write down step by step, if they ask like it's a software development life cycle, why you written like a step by step? They mention like a cycling form.
Okay.
They ask different types of questions. If they ask like what is gathering information and what is review information and you mention like experience in SDLC. So they mention what are the difference between SDLC and STLC. Then skill in understanding software requirement specification means SRS. So what in SRS document? SRS document means software requirement specification. Whatever client wants, they have to mention each and every step in that. They mention their requirement, their functionality. They mention whatever they want. So maybe they ask like, are you aware about SDS, CRS, BRS like that? Same thing. SRS, BRS, PRD, all are almost equal. And experience in executing test cases and tracking defects. They ask about experience in executing test cases, but here you mention like only executing test cases meaning you unaware about how to write the test cases.
Okay.
So you have to explain like so you will explain like I have to write the test cases and I have to execute the test cases. So in meanwhile they ask like up to now how many test cases you wrote.
Mm.
Is it high level test cases or low level test cases? What is your project? They ask all questions and depends on your resume only. Good exposure in bug life cycle. So they ask like what is bug life cycle? I explained in yesterday's class.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like a good exposure in bug life cycle. Okay, how much knowledge you have in bug life cycle or defect life cycle? Definitely they ask like a which tool you are using for bug life cycle. If you say like a Jira or BugZilla, okay, what are the contents in that? Means like new, open, closed, like that. See, good knowledge and defect tracking tool. So which tool you are using like that?
Mm.
Experience in validating mobile application in different Android devices. So it is related to
Yeah.
the like a mobile application, how much knowledge you have in mobile application and the two you have mentioned like a Android devices. Maybe you don't have knowledge on iOS. They ask like why means you mentioned only Android devices.
Mm.
You mentioned
Yeah.
like a experience in compatibility, interruption, interoperability testing.
All these also types of testing.
Yeah, this related to compatibility, interruption, interoperability is related to mobile application testing,
Okay.
not in manual. It is
Mm.
related into mobile. But here they did not mention like that. See here they did not mention manual types. Compatibility is like a manual and mobile.
Mm.
Interruption and interoperability is related to the mobile. So mentioned
Okay.
is like a knowledge and agile frame.
Mm.
So they ask about question.
Framework means
Huh?
framework means
Framework means we have to prepare how we'll run this project.
okay. Run means it's like test cases how we are writing and
No, no,
executing
not
that
test
only, no?
cases. Total project.
Okay.
Total project like a test plan, na? Like a
Mm.
framework.
Okay. It is in mobile testing or
No, no, in
manual only.
manual or mobile anything.
Okay.
We do lot of in automations, QTP,
Mm.
Selenium. For that, definitely we have to prepare a framework. If we have a
Mm.
knowledge in framework, then definitely it is easy to complete that work. So you mentioned like then technical skill set,
Mm.
the operating system, languages, database, and any project, and definitely you have to mention your project title, what technologies you used for that project, and testing approach, team size, what is your role on that project,
Mm.
and responsibilities means roles and responsibilities. And if you have like a mention two projects, you have to mention two projects and roles and responsibilities like involved in execution of functional test cases, involved in validating the application in different OS versions. This related to the like mobile.
Okay.
Yeah.
So minimum 2 years experience means how many projects we should put minimum?
It's not minimum or maximum. See, it depends
Okay.
on your company. You are in only single
Mm.
company last 2 years.
Mm.
Maybe you worked in one project or three projects or five projects.
Okay.
Depends your skills on anything. If you put two projects, no problem. If you mention like a one project, no problem. If you mention five projects, also no problem. See, maybe if you join in like a TCS, Infosys, they have to assign a single project for 10 years, 15 years also. So means they have to mention only single project in their resume. Knowledge is important. If you mention a single project also, they ask a lot of questions. Whatever they want, they ask. Based on their requirement, they ask questions. But you have to explain the project and to show the resume
No,
also.
1 second.
Yeah, bug life cycle or defect life cycle, not a problem.
No, no. STLC and bug life cycle.
SDLC is different, bug life cycle is different.
Okay.
SDLC
Mm.
is totally different.
ST, software testing life cycle.
Yeah, yeah, SDLC is different, na?
Mm.
SDLC